This is me,
Oh God.
running the PACER test for the first time in years. If you never ran the PACER as a kid, it's a test with 2 cones 20 meters apart. You run to the other cone when you hear a beep. The beeps start slow, but get faster every minute. You keep running until you miss a beep, and your score is the number of laps you finished before failing.
So that's the PACER test. Oh my God.
Now, mostly everyone hates running the PACER test, either from fear of public humiliation or getting sweaty in the middle of the school day. But today, I'm embracing that hatred
I can't believe I'm actually doing this.
and pushing my limits to the max to help explain the harsh truth behind what your PACER score really says about your health, and diving into what it reveals about a generation falling dangerously behind in fitness. Bring yourself back to those days of PE testing. You're in your school gym, sneakers squeaking to the start line as you begin to hear the words,
The Fitnessgram PACER Test is a multi-stage aerobic
Oh my God,
capacity
I can't
test
believe I'm
that
actually doing
progressively
this.
gets more difficult as it continues. The second time you fail to complete a lap before the sound, your test is over. On your mark, get ready, start.
and suddenly, it's a race of survival. But what if I told you this test, that people still question, wasn't just some weird ritual from the draft days, but was actually one of the most effective tools for measuring something that's been declining for decades. The PACER test was created in the 70s by a Canadian sports scientist, Luc Leger, to assess cardiorespiratory fitness. Leger didn't create the test just to torture kids. He designed it because how long you last in a test like this can predict a whole lot about your health. Fitness in kids isn't just about running further, it's linked with how well they'll focus in school, whether they'll struggle with their weight, and most frightening, how likely they are to deal with deadly health problems decades down the road. More on that later in the video. But for now, I want you to think back to those days in PE, because the PACER wasn't the only test we had to do. Remember doing those grueling push-up and sit-up tests? Some of you might have even strained your hamstrings doing the sit and reach test. They weren't just chosen at random for your gym teacher's amusement. Picture a world where we made gym teachers put every single kid through one of these, which is actually a more accurate measurement. But imagine trying to get hundreds of middle schoolers one by one in this mask and on a treadmill. We needed something that was simple, easy, and reliable.
Oh God.
I'm doing it alone, but you remember it looked more like this. The ability to have dozens of us at once made it so simple and easy. And when you finished,
No. No.
you told the teacher what you got and moved on with your day.
So that's the PACER test. Oh my God.
That number is really a window into your heart, lung, and muscle health. By doing a quick calculation, you open that window and get your predicted VO2 max, which is generally considered the best indicator of cardiovascular fitness. And comparing my score to what it should be, it's looking like I gotta hit the pavement.
Embarrassing!
I actually did that treadmill test about a year ago, and it told me my VO2 max was a 42, so the PACER isn't too far off, but I also have probably gotten worse since then, So for what it is, the PACER test is actually an incredible tool. With data like that, you would think kids are fitter than ever. Well, here's the problem. When it comes to actually being active, the US isn't doing too well. There's this report card that comes out every couple of years by the Physical Activity Alliance, where they grade every country's youth participation. On our report card, the US got a whopping D- for the last decade. And it's even worse than it sounds. It's not your typical D-. On their rubric, a D- means only 20 to 26% of kids meet the minimum activity guidelines, which are set by the World Health Organization. Remember when I said less active kids are more likely to deal with deadly health problems as adults? Well, this is why. Kids who don't meet the World Health Organization's recommendations are far more likely to develop an unhealthy weight, and that tends to bleed into adulthood. So, you shouldn't be shocked to hear that European countries like Slovenia and Finland, where kids are far more active, also have healthier adults. So, what if PE class helped you stay fit for life? In Slovenia, they have SlowFit, an app that tracks fitness data from every single school in the country.
One part is actually for PE teachers, so they can analyze the fitness of the class But besides of this, we have for individual users, they can see the trends of their results, and based on this, they can grant access to doctor, and doctor can see these indicators of health.
So instead of just one-time fitness tests, kids, teachers, and doctors can track trends over time and target improvements for each individual. Finland, though, has a more everyday approach. They have this program called Finnish Schools on the Move. Their goal is to make the school culture more active, like promoting biking to school, making lessons more mobile, and 15-minute breaks for playing and socializing between every 45-minute instruction. I can't lie, I'm a little jealous of that one. I mean, we get this so wrong in the US. These countries understand that physical education in schools is so important. So, what can we do to fix this? We need to make exercise feel rewarding instead of intimidating, and this is the key to doing it. Let's say you're a tennis prodigy, and for PE you have to play somebody who's never touched a racket before. I mean, what's the point of even playing them, right? It's gonna be way too easy for you. Now let's flip the script. You're the one who's never touched a racket before, and you have to play the prodigy in front of your entire class. All you're gonna be is intimidated and embarrassed. The key here is to be in this area, completely absorbed in what you're doing, where actual fun happens, where challenge meets skill level. Far too often, kids are chained to the anxiety zone. Do you remember when you learned how to ride a bike as a kid? Maybe you fell off a couple times. But once you got it, you got it. You could go weeks, months, even years without riding one. But every time you hop on, you remember how to ride. Things you learn and constantly repeat, especially as a child, become hardwired in your brain and stick for life. So if exercise is hardwired with embarrassment, why would anybody want to start? So while the PACER test is incredibly important and good at what it does, it represents these two zones. This could be our key to changing the health landscape of the country. Finding ways for kids to have fun while exercising, no matter the skill level, so it sticks for life. Not to be dramatic or anything, but this change could save us billions of dollars. No, seriously. But real, important change isn't easy. There are people that have been working on this for years, moving consistently forward, one step at a time. I know if we keep moving the chains, we'll get there eventually.
Oh no, oh no.